morning. Welcome to another episode of Honestly Speaking, the podcast. We are your hosts, Stacy's dad and Eli's guy. We are thankful for another day.
Yes, we are.
Thankful to be back at it once again. We thank you for your support. We hope you're still tuning in, getting revelations from what we're talking about each week. Yeah, man, we're gonna start it off, man.
We hope that we can start some conversations out there, whether between you and somebody else or just yourself.
Conversation within yourself, where you looking at yourself.
Just look at yourself. But yeah, I'm thankful for honestly speaking, man. I'm thankful for it.
Yeah.
Just really helps me out. It's like therapy for me every day.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
every day we record.
you necessarily don't have to pay for therapy. You can kind of just talk to a like-minded individual
Exactly.
and kind of get to,
Therapy is free.
if you have the right spirit, you can kind of get to learning some things about yourself. I've been having conversations with certain individuals where I've been kind of telling them, like, man, really life is all about your daily growth and evolution. The problems you come into,
Yeah.
I can't blame anybody else.
Right.
I can't blame God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I was talking to somebody like, man, like, you have issues and problems. Like, yeah, man, we all got issues and problems.
Yeah.
Like, you can't blame me. I can't blame you.
Yeah.
We got to tackle it and get through it.
Get through them, man.
That's just the evolution of us, of our.
That's genuine strength, like to go through something, come out, on top. You know what I mean? Like instead of having to always like try to go around or under or try to escape.
That struggle produces character, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the more struggle you go through and obtain, like
It's also like revealing to like. I always notice that too. Like when I'm like my back is against the wall or it seems like it, it just brings out what's truly in me. Like I always love that factor because it's unquestionable. Like you know what I mean? Like it brings out just the actual character or actual presence that I would say like that's inside of me. You know what I mean? Like and sometimes it's just like you learn something new about yourself too. Like,
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you might not have had that fight in you, and then you kind of realize, okay,
Right.
this made me like do it, and like produce the where I had to just like
I didn't know it was there all along.
you know what I'm
Like,
saying?
like
Where I had to kind of like just get stuff done. Can't look at nobody else. Can't go complain to nobody. Like you just gotta get the work done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's kind of ultimately where my head has been at, my spirit has been at, man. Like just putting your head down and getting the work done.
and getting it done. Yeah.
Like you can't cry about it.
I think like I said, I think it's like a telltale sign of just really, what you're gonna end up being about. Like I think it's like those certain ages. I say within 18 to about 35 is where you like really like figure out the person that you are. You know what I'm saying? In full, like in all.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why it takes so many experiences in life so that you can really find out really who you are. You know what I mean? Like you got to go through, not to say like you just have to go through so much, but you kind of do though. You kind of have to, trial by fire a little bit and go through those things to figure out oh, I'm a quiet individual, or I may be a little bit excessively loud, or I'm a little drawn back, or I might be a little bit more hands-on. I'm a little bit too aggressive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, like, you'll find out that you could be all those things just in different areas of your life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I think it's important not to just draw on one thing or one character about yourself, because I think we all resemble something of the same, just in different areas. You know what I mean? Like I may be more aggressive on being verbal, like you might be more aggressive on action based, like doing the thing instead of just talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I may have to talk about it in order for me to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it just might be different in those ways, but we're aggressive just in different lights. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I was gonna say that as far as like we all kind of like do like it's actually a thing where like a lot of people like something might work for you, and I can kind of think
Yeah.
that what you said kind of matches with this. It's like something might work for you, but might not work for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it might work for you to be able to speak things out, but it might work for me to just be able to, all right, let me go ahead.
just go ahead and do it.
Dig
I gotta
in
do
and
it.
just
If I don't, like if I don't just go to that,
Like I've learned that man, we all kind of do things different. While although we might, some of us might have the same goals, we might do and think, and it's supposed to be that way because we're all different people.
right?
You know what I'm saying? Um, and ultimately, man, I kind of been having this on my mind as far as
Like just being different, or
just a topic that I've been kind of thinking about.
okay.
Like, what constitutes a good heart? What constitutes a good mind? And on the contrast, what constitutes a bad mind? A bad mind.
That's a great question.
You know what I'm saying? Like, in your mind, what do you think? Because, like, you always get the, man, God knows my heart. I have a good heart. It's like,
oh, that's dangerous. That's very dangerous too. Cause it like
you might have a good intention,
but not a good heart.
Wow. You know what I'm saying? You're in, like, people always say,
That's
well,
that's good.
you know, when you deal with people,
Yeah.
or even myself, I might say, man, like I have to check myself sometimes and kind of just like being like, okay,
that's the word, man.
I do mean to.
That's the word, bro.
Do good, but I didn't do well.
The Bible says that a way may look right to a man, but it leads to death.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that we intend to do. That was like a knock out the park. Right?
I just I've been thinking that.
Like you might have good intentions, but might have bad quality heart posture, like bad quality mind of how to acquire the attention,
right?
How to get it done.
Bad quality of mind. I mean, in part because in your mind you think that my heart is
in the right place,
and I'm doing something that I feel is in the best interest of this individual.
Bro, that's a good deal, right?
But my mind isn't really in line with
the heart.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's kind of like because my mind it could be triggered from past abuses. And they don't have to be physical.
Distractions.
You know what I'm saying?
Just being distracted.
Your mind can be triggered off of anything.
You
know what I'm saying? You could be frustrated from work or dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Any type of thing you could be,
simple stuff.
Yeah, any type of thing could take your mind.
You stubbed your toe on the dresser. Now your whole.
So then when you come into dealing with certain situations and certain things, oh well, I got a good heart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
right. Or God knows my heart. He knows. What we're really saying is God knows what I'm intending to do. Because really,
even though my intention in this moment
is off. It's off, right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which in turn my action towards
it's almost like a justification. Like this kind of just to continue to be how you are. You know what I mean? Like and I think you just answered the question. Like that's what constitutes a good and a bad heart or a good and a bad mind. It's kinda like the body. Like what you put into it is what you're gonna get out of it. You know what I mean? Like it's really like it's like that good blueprint or perfect foundation of just like whatever you put into that is just what you gonna get out of it. If you know you eating a whole bunch of junk food or you just feeding yourself junk and stuff like that, don't be mad when you're not as flexible or
you gotta know. Beware of the belief.
Yeah.
What you believe is what you accept.
What you accept. Right.
I believe in eating this.
Right.
I believe in reading this, seeing this every day.
You have to accept it.
So, and then I'm accepting this into my spirit, into my diet.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I watch video. I mean, I've seen videos like this a lot, but, your diet is not just what you're eating. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that I see every day, what I'm reading. You know what I'm saying? The people I have around me. It's consumption overall.
Right.
You know
what you watch.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I believe that's why I delivered that word that way because it was so profound to me just in the aspect of like, man, we take so many we take so much time in these I would say these undeserved or really like can't afford leisures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we worry about the wrong things sometimes, and it's like, man, if we would just wrap around the quality of what we are and how we think and how we speak, we would realize, you know, what we ultimately are experiencing. Like, you know what I mean? Like we try to make it seem like the outer experiences is what moves us when it's really we move the outer experiences. Right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I was really like captivated by that. You know what I mean? Like, man, maybe I might be experiencing life like in these hardships and these destruction ways because like I might be the one that's like inducing it. I might be the one that's making it a reality.
You have to go back to the root. You have a problem. How did this problem start?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Admit.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Go back to in your heart. Where did you let this in at?
Yep.
For this to build.
And if you don't know, then you gotta like state that. Like, hey, I don't know where I went left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that you can begin to, I remember saying yesterday, just to take captive of everything that you think and say. Like, to captivate it and before it comes out, make sure it's in the right place for the right thing at the right time. You know what I mean? Like,
I just thought of that, man. It just kind of arrested me these last few days, man. Beware of what you believe. But and I was like, yeah, man. We often, man, like the things that's in our daily diet. You know what I'm saying? These are things that consume us.
Right.
Like these are things that consume us and ultimately I feel ruin us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of the things that we you know, these screens that we're attached to, and I had to delete some social media yesterday.
Yeah.
Like now, granted, my social media isn't like a bunch of bad stuff. It's a lot of spirituality, but then you got other people on there.
Right.
To where it's kind of like, okay, I need a little break from this.
Yeah.
And we just keep Instagram because that's where the bulk of my branding and advertising is done.
Yeah.
So I said, let me just keep the gram. But everything else, man, and TikTok, everything else, man, I was like, because I feel like
at certain times, that's you being accountable. Like, yeah, man, this is like, you have to realize that overstimulation kills simplicity. Like it really kills the function of focus. When you're overstimulated, when there's just so much to look at, like that's how it's so subtle and it seeps in. Like, because it's
like in my mind, man, I'm always So I'm like, hold on.
Like scrolling is a trance.
I know myself, so I have to be like, bro, let's stop for a second. Let's get our thoughts in order.
Have you had those moments where you were like on your phone and then you looked up and it was like an hour was gone, like an hour and 30 minutes was going, and you was like, bro, I just been locked in here for an hour and 30 minutes.
You know what's crazy? I used to do that a lot, but like now with social media now, I have a habit of like I'll scroll a few times because I don't really like to see what other people are doing.
Yeah,
I might watch a few people's stories, like maybe 3 or 4, and that's it. But I like to go down my timeline a little bit and see what word I've missed, like scriptures on there, stuff like that. I want to just, but then I don't like to get in the habit of scrolling all down the timeline for too long. So so on one app I might spend a few minutes there and then close that app.
Yeah,
and I go to a different one. It's just constantly that has like it's really brainwashed us into thinking like I need to be on my phone doing something because once I get tired of this app, I'm into another app.
To another one, yeah.
So then that's not like okay. I need to delete some of these.
That's why normally I kind of put the same things on across all my social media.
Yeah.
So like it's really like motivational and word based, like word of God based stuff. Right. So that by the time when I go to these different apps, it's just like you just getting the same thing, like just getting the same thing, like you know what I'm saying. So it'd be like okay, well, eventually it talks like Holy Spirit talks to me enough to say, all right, well, let's get in the Word. If you get that full off of that, all right, let's scroll the Word for about that. You know what I'm saying? And then that's where you learn what type of spirit you're displaying, because you'll scroll through Instagram and TikTok all day, but you won't scroll them scriptures. And you'd be like, yo, like, oh, like it hit me like, bro, where you at?
But I find myself getting bored of that. Like okay, I'm not posting nothing.
Why am I on here?
I don't really, you know what I'm saying? So I close the app. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even really get on. I don't really even have a presence on Snapchat.
That's why the first app that I go in is the Bible app.
Yeah,
like that's the first app.
I'll be always trying to open that.
I'll try and go in that first, because at least if I do that like 15 minutes of reading and just kind of instruction, and then I realized too, like that's why that word I spoke, beware of the but, arrested me, because it was like, man, I don't want to just open the Bible just to read it. I want to have my heart in the right place so that I can go in. When I'm going in there, I'm looking for something. Yeah. Like I'm going to get something out of this.
Yeah.
Like out of this 15, 20 minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're like actually having your heart in the right place. See, your heart needs to go into everything that you do.
Sure.
And that's why I brought this up, and I think it was something that we should talk about, because like you said, I remember you said this. If you said it last podcast as well, or you said it when we was talking as well, like if my heart's not in it while I'm reading, you know, this is all attached. My heart and my mind. My heart's not in it. My mind definitely won't be in it.
Right.
Which, you know what I'm saying? The heart, the desire.
Right.
You know, the mind, the clarity, the focus.
Yep.
So if I can't do any of that, then I'm just sitting there just scrolling the Bible, and there's no purpose behind it.
You're just reading another book at that point.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not comprehending it. I'm not understanding what's going on.
And that's right. That's where you start to gauge whether or not like what spirit you're displaying. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because then that's why it hits me,
and that's why I feel. That's why I ask that.
Yeah.
Is your heart really in the right place for God?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
As a believer, like, you know what I mean? Like,
if I'm not having my heart into a simple thing as just taking time out to just read, some scripture and gaining some clarity on what he's saying,
right?
You know, then I'm not focused. So then it's like, well, is your heart and your mind in the right place,
right,
for God?
Right.
That examination first, like, you know, with my relationship with God.
It's ultimately, you basically display ultimately how you see the word. You know what I'm saying? Like, is the word really living to you? Because there are scriptures I have read over and over through the years, and every time I've read them with my heart in the right place, I've gotten something different out of the same scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've got a new revelation, because the word is a living thing. It's something that breeds newness. You know, when I was 32, when I was 22, the word hit differently. It just hit differently because I was in a different place. You know what I'm saying? Like, now being 32, when I read the word, man, I'm going in there, I'm like, you know, sometimes I'll pray before it, like, God, you know, I could be doing anything else. Like, it's relationship. Like, and I tell him, like, God, you know, I could be doing anything else in the world, anything else to stimulate myself. But I'm choosing to go to your word. Show me something. You know what I'm saying? And then I have expectation that I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to have the confidence that you know that God will do what he says he will. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of us aren't receiving power from the word because we're coming to God as beggars. Like, God, if you just give me the crumbs off the table, and God is like, no, I made the full table, the feast for you. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you eat the fullness thereof? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you coming to me as if you don't need me, or it's a suggestion, or I won't be there for you? You know what I'm saying? That will create a false experience that we will have with God. We will think that the word doesn't work. It's really, it's this,
Or not in the right.
The Bible says, come boldly before the throne of the Lord. Like, so the only way to come boldly is to be like, God, I need you to do this.
Be honest. You know what I'm saying? Be honest about it. Be honest with God.
There was a guy, I was on TikTok. This guy was telling a story about this lady who was a preacher who was, delivering the word on a Sunday. And before, she was praying in the spirit, and God had told her to where she was going to wear the specific dress, but God told her to wear the dress, but wear these leggings with the dress. And so she was like, well, no, like she contemplated, because why, if the leggings don't go with the dress, why would I wear the leggings? And so she was just kind of like she went through her whole process again, and she heard the Holy Spirit say it again, wear the leggings with the dress. So she was like, all right, I'm gonna listen. Those on the leggings with the dress, and as she's in the service, she's giving the word. The Lord speaks to her, and he tells her to do a cartwheel. And so she's totally thrown aback. Like she's just like she's like, that's foolish. But the Bible says he'll use the foolishness to captivate the believers. Like, you know what I'm saying? He will use anything that he could possibly use to captivate his people. You know what I'm saying? And so out of her fighting it, and this is why obedience is like bar none. Like you just gotta have it in you, because it's just so much that's attached to it. Bar none. Even though she was struggling with the idea, she steps back and she does a cartwheel. And a family in the church stands up and immediately starts screaming, God is real. And they start crying, God, and everything. Like, I mean, it was a full family. And so the lady was like, well, tell the story, like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Mind you, she's delivering the word. She just steps back and does a cartwheel. Right. So this is very, like, abnormal. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the family jumps up and they're like, God is real. And they're in tears and they're just like, they're totally in awe. And the family was like, this was our last service we were going to come to, because we didn't believe in God. We were just struggling believing in God. And we said together that if God is real, then the pastor will do a cartwheel today. And it's so like, it's crazy how belief really is I would say the turning stone. Belief is really the difference whether or not we experience God in a grand scale or a very minimal scale. Like, you know what I mean? Like your heart is where you store the affections and expressions of your life. It's literally how you determine whether or not you say a certain thing, do a certain thing, and then in turn how you live in a certain way too. Yeah. That's why I was saying, like, beware of the but, beware of those objections. If you can't filter out what you're objecting to, it's going to be a hard life for you. It's going to be a hard life for you because you're going to keep going back and forth, and that will drive you insane. Like, insanity is real. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but Jesus is real too. So it's like, that's why you have to, that's why you got to beware what you're objecting to, because they're both real things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's just how you perceive it, man. I think that's what constitutes, you know what I'm saying, that the quality. Yeah. The quality just not just what's inside of you, but just the quality of how you live. And the quality of people that you interact with. We might be running into the same type of people because we're the same type of way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we keep speaking these days like, oh, I'll never find a good friend. Well, you're going to keep running into bad ones. Like, you know, the words you speak. It's just like,
and then I'm learning too, man, like, the day that I plant the seed, or the day,
that's a good one.
The day that I speak it into existence, declare it, prophesy it, it's not the day it's going to happen. It's not the week it's going to happen. Right. It may not be the month it's going to happen. It might not even be the year it's going to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I've learned as well, and I've already understood that with me and personally in my life, it's everything's a process.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing's ever been. We've discussed this multiple times on here. Nothing's ever been given to us. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's ever been at the snap of a finger, at the drop of a hat. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I really come to terms with, like, okay, you just like gonna have to put your hand down, work for God. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I think that's our testimony. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just because what I learned from that was that things that are of value are worth taking the time to build.
Yeah.
Like things that are really valuable, it's worth taking the time to build it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to go back to the seed, like you were talking about the planting of the seed, when you do plant it, you plant it with that word, you know what I'm saying? You plant it with the word that you say, whatever.
Right.
What continues to grow that? Well, when you plant a seed, you have to water it.
Right.
Well, our words are water. So
actions,
water.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Like, right, because you can't say you want to be a doctor and then don't go to school for to be a doctor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
in turn, I gotta put that work in.
yeah, it's like that's the water. Like, and are you watering it every day? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
faith without works is dead.
You know? Exactly. Death in life is in the power of the tongue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why I asked too when I was preaching a sermon that the Bible describes the tongue as a fire, and I was just like, what are you setting ablaze to? Like, you know what I'm saying? What are you burning up? Are you burning up the favor and the blessings that we've been given?
Yeah.
Or are we burning up the anxiety or the fear or the stagnation or the undiscipline? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's going to make us really have to decide and work and decide and make a decision on whether or not to work for that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to work. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to work.
You got to work.
You got to work.
We got to work. We got to work.
You got to put in the work to see the grand scale of whatever that you're thinking. And that's what makes it so beautiful, because a lot of ideas, they don't start off the idea. They start up in here. They start up in here.
You got to plant that seed.
Right.
That's the idea.
Right.
Then you got to put in that work,
which is the water.
That's the
that's the water.
That's the water to see it grow.
You know what I mean? And really your heart is the ground. You know what I'm saying? So really your heart, you need to make sure that soil is good soil.
It's good soil.
You know what I'm saying?
It ain't all corrupted and nasty.
When you put that idea that goes from here to here, brings out now what you live. You know what I'm saying? What you start to do, what you start to say. You know what I'm saying? Because speaking is action too. I want everybody to realize that speaking is action. It's movement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When God said, "Let there be light," and there was light, that was a physical aspect from a mouthing from his standpoint, his words. So that means this is an action. This is an action, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a verb. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's something that you need to do.
Something you got to do.
Yeah.
That's right. That's verb. What you're doing.
It's what you're doing.
You know what I'm saying?
So don't just look at your action as me opening the door. You know, look at your actions as well, me speaking about the open door. You know what I'm saying? The door opening up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just as big as you doing it. You know what I mean? And partly you can't really have one without the other, because action really comes from what you already have deemed anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, speaking about it is just one part. Doing it is just one part. But when you do it both, that's when it becomes a real thing. Like,
that's a whole different ball game there.
That makes it reality.
Yeah.
That's what at least it
makes it real.
Yeah, it does. And that's why we have to be careful about what we say, honestly. I mean, we have to be careful about, one, what we say about ourselves, and then we just got to be way more careful about what we say about each other.
Yeah.
That's another big deal. Like, man, it's a lot of stuff that happens, and I know we're not all from the same backgrounds, and I'm speaking to myself personally, man. Like, I have to watch what I say about other people's experiences. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't just be like, oh, yeah, they crazy. Like, you know, like, it's so dismissive. It's very dismissive.
Yeah, from like what they've been through, mentally, physically, spiritually. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I just grown to. Yeah, like, no, that's a good point though, man. Like watching what I say about others, man, because you don't know what experiences they've had in their lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you don't know too how other people view you.
Yeah.
And that will shape too how you speak about people.
That's wild that you say that. And I'm gonna give you something that happened to me at work about you not knowing how people view you
Yeah.
in a positive light.
Right. Yeah.
There's one guy, this white guy at my job. You know, the first time I seen him, he was cool. Like instantly, he was cool. You know, cool people. And then I think one day I came into work and he had stopped me and he's like, hey man, you know your brake light is out. And I said, oh yeah man, I've been lagging man. I just ain't changed it. I got it right here in the car. He said, oh man, I changed it for you. I said, oh man, no, you ain't got to do that, man. I've been. He said, no man, you never know, man. You know, police always looking to give you a hard time. You know, so he was looking out. All right, so he ends up changing the brake light. And we was cool. I talked to him. So then recently, like I want to say within the last week, you know, like it was always positive interactions. Like one, like I want to say around December of last year, he was saying, I seen him one time. He was like, yeah, man, what's up, brother? Going to go pass out bags to the homeless. Like you know what I'm saying? So like you just from with the first impression that they just give off good, good spirit.
Sure, good
you know what I'm
spirit,
saying? And so recently, within the last week, he said, "Oh yeah, man, you know, my son passed away, man." And I, instantly I'm like, like man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like no one should have to experience this, And then he's like, but he's still like, yeah, man. On Sunday, I seen him. Yeah, man. I just got some good praise music going on, man. And I just came from LA. I just got back just now. I got some good praise music, So I'm getting through it. He was giving me some insight about, kind of what happened. And then he's leaving. He's like, yeah, man. Love you, brother. And I was like, I kind of stopped. Like, this man's telling me he loves me, man. Like,
yeah.
He didn't know me, like, but just having that conversation, like,
right.
He don't talk to nobody else. He's sharing with me what's happened with his personal life, his son passing away. And like anybody could be like a weird and rude individual, but this is where you see if your heart's in the right place.
Right.
Because I could be like, oh man, he's weird. I don't even know him like that. He talking about he loves me. But then I'm like, man, for what I've seen, he's of God.
Broke a wall down. Like,
I had to stop and think. I was like, he's shown he's of God. He hasn't shown me anything else.
Right.
He praise music. He's spirit and faith filled.
Right.
There's no reason for me to judge him on any
dealing with loss and then sharing the loss.
And that grief with you.
Yeah, that's
always showing love.
That's
what I'm saying? So I was like, oh man.
But you're absolutely right. Yeah, that's what shows like
that was a test for me.
Oh my God, that's
because I said it to him. I said, man, I love you too, man,
bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Right back at you, buddy.
Because he said it once, and we began talking again for like 5 more minutes. So then this time because he was gonna leave, and he started saying some more stuff, and then this time he said it again. He was finna leave.
Yeah,
for real. And I said, you
can't let him leave.
You know what I'm saying?
Can't let him leave without saying.
I was arrested in that because I was like, this is a test to see if my mind, if my heart and my mind is in the right place.
Can it feel?
You know what I'm saying? Because
or am I numb to it? Like, you know what I mean?
He's showing me love,
man. Because he's showing you love because he needs it.
Exactly.
He needs it.
Exactly, man. So exactly. So be
what you need.
Yeah.
Like be what you need, bro. That's a perfect story, bro. That's a perfect example, bro.
I was sitting there thinking about that, man. Like, dang, man. Because and then I was like, man, you don't know what they're going through behind closed doors. He can go home and just break down and just be having a whole different,
different person at the crib.
Then when he come out, he got to kind of
dress it up.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's why I have to be mindful of that, man. I have to be mindful about how other people see me.
And that's kind of why you saying that kind of brought that.
Yeah,
and that's why I was thinking, like, man, we gotta
look at this thing, bro,
by God, and see if our heart and our minds are in the right place, like we say they are, and if our intention. Because I could have been weird about the situation. Man, he's telling me, you know how we can get. In our own in our heads, in our own way.
Well, that's weird. Like you could have generalized it so much.
I could have ruined this man's whole day.
Yeah, Right.
by being weird, being in my own way, being in my own thoughts.
Yep.
When I'm supposed to walk in love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like I never got a bad vibe, a weird vibe from the gentleman. So he's always cool. Man, love you, brother.
I mean, being helpful, you know what I'm saying? Being helpful in that start, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't ask him to do that.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
That pinpoints the spirit, you know what I'm saying, the heart of people and to the regard of what like you experience.
Yeah.
Like how you experience that, like, oh well, you know, certain things happen this way. I'd be like, well, yeah, how did you receive it though? Like how did you go about it? Like, because that's gonna be the telltale sign too of why it happened too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some things be happening to us just so it can knock at the walls. Like, bro, like, let me see if you're ready for it this time. Let me see if you know what I'm saying.
It's like what you said, man. Be what you want.
Yeah,
Like, I might go through something as
that man put his heart out because he's like, bro, I need love. I need the camaraderie. I need to know that it's going to be okay. Yeah, I got my worship music, but I need physical confirmation. I need people.
You know, my brothers and sisters.
Yeah, and that's what we're there for. We're there to validate Christ.
And then I can't say, oh yeah. And because I've told you before, yeah, man, I believe in God, man. You know, my family heavy in church and X, Y, and Z. I can't say these things. Then be, you know, and say how we Christ filled and we walk in love, and then get presented with an opportunity to show someone love.
Mangled,
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
view.
Like it had that situation went a different way.
That's
on my part. I would have had to readdress my whole spirituality.
That's that. What you're talking about is that accepting and that belief difference. Like we try to believe without acceptance. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like
I can't say I believe in Christ
and then don't accept the precepts of what come with that,
and then not walk over here in love,
right?
Or
but we do that.
I see someone having one habit that I really changed. Especially like coming to church, but also like outside is like speaking to people when I didn't feel like it. When I was younger, I never spoke to people first.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't rude and ignore you. You speak to me at church,
right?
I'm gonna ignore you.
No, I'm not gonna do that. But I'm not gonna go to you first.
But it wasn't like I really got, and that's why I say I really feel God moving and changing around my heart and my mind in certain areas because I'm like, man, there's certain things where I notice, like I'm at church and I'm giving people hugs. You know what I'm saying? Open arms. Like, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying?
And that's it.
Like, I'll be saying something like that. Man, you never know what these people.
That affects the environment.
You know what I'm saying?
How church actually goes. That's why I was saying on Sunday. I was like, man, part of the praise and worship experience is us having to be egged on something that we should be eager to do.
I'm gonna get to jump on people at church.
Yeah, like me. Even when I'm having rough days, it's the rough days that I can't wait to be here.
Yeah,
I'm like, I gotta get to church, yo. I gotta shake my dad's hand. I gotta shake Uncle Mo's hand, my brother. Like I gotta see CJ.
I gotta see my people.
Yeah, I gotta, Mom. I gotta feel Mom hug me and say, when my mom hugged me, bro, I just sink into her now, bro. Because like I really be like, it's so hard sometimes just trying to be so strong. You know what I'm saying? Try to persevere all the time, bro. And I thank God that my mom is still alive because there's people here that don't have their mom no more. And it's like, bro, I couldn't imagine not having that. Yeah. Like I can't imagine not having that, bro. Yeah. Like I can't, bro. Like I cannot fathom it. That's why every day, anytime I talk to I cherish mom. Like, bro, like as if like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like this may be the last day. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's so many people around and they all be like, yeah, I lost my. Our father doesn't have his mother anymore.
Yeah.
Our uncles, you know what I'm saying? They don't have their mother anymore. You know what I'm saying? And they talk to us about that all the time. And they say that's like one of the most like hurtful things that they have to like kind of just push past. Like, you know what I'm saying? And these are grown men, bro. These are like well in their years. You know what I'm saying? They're older than us.
Right.
So I can't imagine that. That's why I'm saying, like, man, we need each other so that we can keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like
certain people where you're like, man, I'm thankful I have you because
you're one of them.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, every time I see you, I be like, bro, this is my little brother. Like, and it blows my mind because you are my little brother. But I'm like, my brother is probably my closest friend outside of Jesus Christ, bro. Like to me, like, I don't have, I used to, but I don't have a whole bunch of friends. I just don't.
Right, same.
I don't. Like, I have people that know me very, very well, and then people that used to know me very well, I would say, like, but just don't anymore. So we're not like this anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like my family has become my friend. Like,
Right, that's
like,
how I feel.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't really want to have any other.
yeah, like, exactly.
Other entities outside.
It's not that I don't have it and I'm searching for it. I really don't want that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I see my family, I'm like, man, I could talk to them about God. I could talk to them about how the heaviness of just the journey is, and they can understand where I'm coming from and not judge me and not feel like they have like an ulterior motive or trying to create some agenda that they're trying to get done in order for me to be closer to them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not manipulating me into loving y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what we experience in this world. We experience these fallacies and these fake things. That's what I'm saying. Like, when we find out that we're in communion with another believer, bro, we got to make that the best experience possible.
And not for us.
Right.
For them.
So that the unbeliever can see, or the people that just don't, be like, why y'all so much? Because we found Jesus. We found Jesus, and now that we found Jesus, now the stuff that has been holding on to us, the trauma and the dangers and the distractions, they don't win. They don't have any victory now.
Yeah.
That's a celebration. That's a celebrating day, and I want to celebrate that with my brother, with my sister. You know what I'm saying? I want to celebrate those things. That's why when we see each other, it should be like, man, I can't wait to get here.
Yeah. Right.
If you miss it a week at church, or you miss a Sunday or whatever, you should be like, dang.
Yeah, for real.
Like, I have to miss it, but oh my God.
Yeah, like, this got to mean something.
It has to.
It got to really mean something. And now, especially at this point, like, I've already went through going through the motion years, being a teenager and being, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I was saying before.
So it's like, now, like, you should be.
It should be an encouragement. It should
dwelling
be
in this place to where it's like,
that's
man,
what
I'm
I'm talking
excited.
about before.
Happy to see y'all in here.
We partake in leisures. We can't afford. You can't afford to just let time just be just mundane.
Like, yeah, like, you have this opportunity now.
Because once you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah, like what you were saying, like, you know, cause any person could be going, you know what I'm saying, anytime.
We just experienced that in these past
3 years. Yeah.
People, I'm talking about people that we know.
Yeah.
They're not here anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that to me, that captivates my mind the most. Like, anytime something gets mundane or like just gets mediocre, I'll be like, nah, man, this is life. Like, breathe deep. Because you don't get that again. You don't get it again, bro. And that's where we have to really cherish each other, man. I'm talking about even when we're down. Uncle Mo said it when we were praying for us, the sister in church. Man, when you struggle, we all struggle. Yeah. We all toe up.
Yeah.
And until you get better, we're not okay with that. Right. You know what I'm saying? We're going to pray against the enemy. We're going to pray that God is seen in the life of you and the other people you connected to, because they are connected to you and you connected to us. So we all connected.
Like, honestly, you know what I'm saying? When people tell me about, I just don't like to hear about people that I love and cherish struggle. So
it hurts so much.
You know what I'm saying? So I could, like, you know, being honest, somebody could tell me something that's happened, that's harmful to them or whatever, and I could probably shed a tear because it's like, man, I don't like to see you. You know,
I don't want to see
that light. You know what I'm saying? To where you sad and where you unhappy.
We're gonna cry together.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at work, I had to kind of like, dude told me, like, man, and he just came right out and said, man, my son passed away. I was like, oh man, he told me this at work. You know, I was ready to shed a tear for him.
Don't
like,
do it to me at the job.
So, yeah, I'm just like, I was ready to shed a tear for him. I was like, oh man, let me get myself. I was like, man, that's a parent. You know, they always say this: parents should never have to bury their child.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just like, man, that's just so.
And to know
these
that,
journeys, man, we gotta really do some,
some refining,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, some work.
Some work in here.
Allow God
Search
to
our
give
heart.
us some feeling in this heart of ours so that we don't become stone-hearted with each other, like, and stone-hearted to life, where it's just like, man, we can't see the beauty in just living and just being able to live. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, man, if you don't really get excited about the gathering of God's people, you don't have a hard life. Like you are like,
And it's just like, man, I do this every day. I get up and I thank God for all these things, right? The car that I have, the roof the multiple roofs that I have over my head, the job that I get to go to every day.
yeah.
And I was like, man, what if God just became unhappy with me and stopped giving me one of these things?
Man,
We'd be finished.
man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what if it became a detriment like that with God?
Yeah, where it was like the line has been crossed and I'm done. Yeah, like nah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
We know he won't do it, but what if?
you know what I'm saying? So it's like
I don't want to know.
God
Actually,
does right. Keep on listening, right?
I really don't want to know. Like I don't.
Like, well, he just decided to just stop getting so unhappy with it. And it's like, and
We're done.
we have this with each other, where it's like we can get mad, and then it's like, okay, now like with certain people, now the responsibilities of what we are to each other are diminished because I'm mad at you. Man.
Wow. Say that again. Say that.
You know what I'm saying? In relationships, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've noticed this though. Like, as friends, oh, you made me mad now. Now our responsibilities to each other, you know what I'm saying, are finished. And this is like, what? Think about our saving grace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the man behind it all. Like, if he was just to, and that's kind of like what really arrested my spirit, because I was just like, man.
That's that scripture I was reading where it says, to the one without mercy, mercy is not shown.
Right.
And that mercy triumphs over judgment. Yeah. So a lot of the judgments that we be throwing out is because we're not merciful people. We don't have any mercy in our spirit. In our heart. It's not into it.
It's not in the right, and that's why I say, is your heart really in the right place?
Is your cortisone in the right section?
You know what I'm saying?
Because it could be in the wrong section. And if it is in the wrong section, I got news for you. Newsflash, buddy. You have time to move it.
You know what I'm saying?
Move it while there's time.
If your heart is in the wrong spot, most likely your mind is in the right spot.
Yeah, most likely your mind is trash. That juice at the bottom of the garbage can.
You know what I'm saying?
Right now, you might be a person, your feet might stink, and you might not know Jesus. But that's okay. You can always change it. You got time to change it while there's breath in your lungs.
Take advantage of it.
While you're waking up. Man. You don't just wake up just because you're supposed to. You wake up because there's a purpose to you living. Yes, there's a purpose to you living. And your heart has to be refined. It has to be molded. It has to be shaped. Put that a part of your prayer life. Lord God, if there's anything in my heart that I don't know and that I'm not aware of, just remove it. Help me remove it. And when those situations come up, when they say in baseball, they say, see the pitch or the ball come in slow. See those moments come in slow so that you can know, oh, okay, I need to have a little bit more patience here. Maybe I should talk a little bit better here. Like, so don't just live life so fast that you just blaze past the moments, and then when you don't see no change, you like, God, what's going on? I prayed and God is like, man, pay attention to the moments. All right. Look at the moments. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, living takes time. Effective living takes time. Quality living, it takes time. It takes time.
Everything you should gear yourself up
for time.
And gear your mind up that everything that you do and that you're going to do will take time.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
It will take time.
And I don't know. This is why we do this. We hope that it's just like really eye-opening and just helps you think. You know what I'm saying? Because it helps us think. Like, man, like, hold on, like, honestly, it puts more accountability on us because we have to be about what we talk about.
You know, that situation with the gentleman that I encountered, that was something I had to go back and think about. Because if I didn't show love in that moment,
that consideration.
you know what I'm saying? Then my heart and my mind weren't in the right, weren't in the right spot, man, in that moment. So we gotta constantly always check ourselves and do some deep work inwardly.
Yeah, before you check anybody else, check yourself.
Check thyself.
Make your own
commandments based off of you and what you need to do and work on.
Check thyself. I believe that's in the book of Honestly Speaking, chapter 1.
Chapter 15, verse 24. You feel me? Because this has been another episode.
And it says, check thyself.
Check thyself. Don't wreck thyself. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man, this man does it.
We're headed to the book of Honestly Speaking.
Right. Find the book of Honestly Speaking on YouTube. Impact at the Living Way. Fridays, 12 p.m.
Chapter 16. Verse 16. Episode 16.
Man, we appreciate y'all for chilling with us, man.
I love this episode. This might be one of my favorites.
This was definitely
because we got back to really some deep thinking,
some groundbreaking stuff.
Yeah,
like, and that's what you want to do. You want to break that ground, that horrible, tattered, unfruitful ground.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Break that ground
where you can start producing the fruit.
Yes, and living a life that God has called us to live. That's the ultimate thing. Like, you just want to get to the God calling life that He has set for us. And these are the ways to get there.
Yeah.
Stay at the feet of Jesus. Stay in His Word. Yeah. Remain prayerful, and then keep your heart in the right places so that you can say the right things.
Yeah. That's a good formula there.
And when you say the right things, you live the right way.
Yes, sir.
We out, bro. We out. We go, bro. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to follow us on Instagram, that's Honestly Speaking Pod _ on Instagram. And if you can catch us on YouTube, you want to go to Impact at the Living Way on YouTube, man. You can catch us there. Friday, 12 p.m. Me and my brother, M&E. We here. We out, baby. Get it.